Welcome to Hockey Wiz Talks podcast. Today I'll be talking about goalies to trade for and add in fantasy hockey. In this podcast, I talk about goalies to trade for and add in fantasy hockey. Goalies to trade for in fantasy hockey. Robin Lehner. Robin Lehner has not had a great start to the season thus far. He has a 10-9 record with a 3.02 GAA and .910 save percentage. Since his value isn't very high right now, it would be a good time to get him while his value is low, cause Vegas will have a strong second half once they get all their players back and healthy. Darcy Kemper. Darcy Kemper hasn't had the best start to the season. He has a 9-5 record with a 2.84 GAA and .903 save percentage. It would be wise to trade for him now since his value is not as high as it could be, so you wouldn't have to give up as much. Thatcher Demko. Thatcher Demko and the Vancouver Canucks have had a rough start to the season, but personally, Demko has had a real strong season. Although he has a 9-11 record, he has a 2.82 GAA and .912 save percentage. I expect the Canucks to have a strong second half now that they have a competent head coach. Try to get Demko while his value is low. Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury has had a decent season personally with the Chicago Blackhawks, but the issue is the Blackhawks aren't winning enough games. Fleury has a 7-10 record with a 2.96 GAA and .908 save percentage so far this year. There is a chance that Fleury gets traded to a contender at the deadline, so it might be a good idea to trade for him while his value is low. And now a word from our sponsor. Check out my scouting blog at hockeywiz777scouting.com. Listen to my scouting blog podcast on anchor.fm/hockeywiz777scouting. Goalies to add in fantasy hockey. Alexander Georgiev. Alexander Georgiev will be the starting goalie for the time being while Igor Shesterkin is out with injury. In the last week, Georgiev is 2-0 with a 1.78 GAA and .935 save percentage. He would be a solid short-term addition if you have a goalie out with injury. Tuukka Rask. Tuukka Rask, who still isn't signed yet, practiced with the Boston Bruins because some members of the team were unavailable due to illness. It would be a smart idea to stash Rask on your team's IR because it seems like he will return for the Bruins stretch run. Owners of Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark should play it smart and pick up Rask if he is still available. Adin Hill. Adin Hill has started 4 straight games for the San Jose Sharks. He has a 2-2 record with a 2.51 GAA and a .919 save percentage in the last week. Hill would be a good 4th goalie to have in fantasy hockey. Anton Forsberg. Anton Forsberg has settled into his role as the number 1 goalie for the Ottawa Senators. He has a 3-0 record with a 2.91 GAA and .913 save percentage in the last week. Forsberg is only owned in 1% of fantasy leagues. Be ahead of the curve and pick him up before others know about this hidden gem. Check out my hockey blog at hockeywiztalkshockey.blogspot.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at hockeywiz777. Goalie transaction tips. You should trade for goalies with bad starts to the season. Trade for goalies on bad teams that could be traded. Add goalies who you can stash on IR. Add goalies that play in tandems and have workhorse potential. Add goalies before they get recommended by Yahoo. I'll be giving advice on defensemen to trade for and add in fantasy hockey.